First and foremost, I'd like to give all the honor, the praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is Brother Barbazal here with a lesson, and Lord willing, it's edifying. So, I just wanted to get into a lesson through the Spirit, just going into, Babylon, has to go down, right? Which we know that, Babylon today, or modern day Babylon, is America, all right? And we're going to read, scriptures that pertain to, Babylon, being modern day in America, all right? Because there's certain scriptures, of course, that we know, it's not pertaining to the, the Neo-Babylonian Empire, all right? This is going into today's Babylon, which goes to, America. All right, so this is going into Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit on the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." All right, O virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, going into America. All right, because America is also known as the daughter of Babylon. All right, America takes, has many similarities, going back to the Neo-Babylonian Empire. Okay, that's where America, takes a lot of its, left-handed practices and such. Okay, it says, "There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be tender and delicate." It says, "Take the millstone and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers." All right, so this is going into, America being exposed. All right, it says in the verse 3, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered." So, America is being exposed. All right, not being the what people make it out to be. All right, and people are getting tired of this place. The nations, they're getting tired of this place. All right, and as the nations grow more and more against America, that destruction is going to have to come. All right, so it says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen." You see, and every day, people are seeing America for what it is. All right, those who voted for a president, hasn't seen no change, voted for Trump, haven't seen no change, seeing him side with the little hats, people who, pretty much everybody who has any type of eyes to see, can see that this place is, full of BS, man, and if you're smart enough, this place has to go down, all right, and this place will go down, through thermonuclear destruction. All right. So let's read verse 3 again. It says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." All right. So that's when it says that, it's going into Yahushai. "And I will not meet thee as a man," because, when Yahushai come back, he's coming back with the chariots, with the angels, with that power. Okay, and he's coming down to, take this kingdom down. Yahushua will be pretty much the final touches, right? His return, because of course you got the thermonuclear fire, but his return will be the kind of, the final touches of this kingdom going down. All right, because that's when the kingdom of heaven will be established. Okay, as this place is getting destroyed, the elect getting beamed up, all right, being saved, and Yahushua coming back down and setting that throne, right? Setting up the tabernacle of David. All right, that's soon to come. Verse 4, "As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel." All right, that's another name for our Lord, Yahushua. Salakia. That's another word. That's another word for our Lord, or name for our Lord Yahushua. All right, being the Redeemer, redeeming who? The house of Israel. All right, there's no other nation, that will make sense to redeem. All right, because the Lord was only dealing with Israel, gave Israel the laws and such. All right, the covenants, the scriptures go into how we never dealt with any other nation as he has with the nation of Israel. Okay. So we can read another one. So this is the book of Jeremiah 51:1. And it says, thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them. Salakia. And it says, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For the day of trouble they shall find, or they shall be against her round about. All right. So this is going into Babylon, getting destroyed, that destroying wind. All right. You can't find any type of part in history, secular history, where this is happening. All right. That land hasn't been destroyed. All right. Going down back to the physical landmass of Babylon. All right. But this is prophetic for what's going to happen soon to this land, America. Okay. And when you have the understanding, when you read it through the scriptures, you figure out that Babylon today is America. All right. And we know that through the spirit of power of Yahweh by Shemel. All right, so this is the book of going down to verse 8, Jeremiah 51:8. Or we can read, let's get straight to the point. So Babylon 51:8, it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed. Verse 9, it says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. All right, so there you go. All right, so this place, Babylon the Great, ran by the Edomites. All right, the Edomites have to pay, and this land, all right, has to be up in flames. Okay. And this land will burn for a very long time. All right, because of all the wickedness that happened in this land, this land will never be dwelled again. All right, even in the kingdom. All right, this is going to be a land that's pretty much a desert. All right, for desert creatures and things like that. But as far as people won't dwell in Babylon the Great ever again. All right. So this place has to be judged, and this place won't be healed as it's going into. All right. People think that Donald Trump is coming to heal Babylon. Make Babylon great again, so to speak. Well, that's not the case. The only thing Donald Trump is there to do is forward biblical prophecy. All right, which is to accelerate, the oncoming or the pending, destruction of this place. Okay, because ever since Donald Trump has gone into office, prophecy has been booming. All right, going to the tensions rising in the Middle East. Him coming with that great wrath against Jakes. All right, and we're seeing it. All right. Isaiah 14:1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. all right, Jacob and Israel is going into the northern and the southern kingdom and set them in their own land, all right. So, the Lord is going to set the Israelites back into their land, all right. That's another way we know that, those small hats, the Amalekites that dwell in our land, a portion of our land, are not the real people. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, to whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. All right. So this is going into the kingdom. All right. And the heathen nations, started with the Edomites, they're going to be put into captivity, into slavery. Okay. For all the wrongdoings they have done, to the nation of Israel. All right. And as you can see, and this hasn't happened yet. All right. This is going into, no, not the Neo-Babylonian, not the Neo-Babylonian Empire, but today's Babylonian, today's Babylon. Verse 3, and it shall come to pass in the day of the Lord, shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. All right, you see? And we're clearly still in that bondage, that captivity. All right? Once we're in the kingdom, it ain't going to be no more sorrow. The Lord is going to, wipe away our tears, so to speak. All right? So in that day, it's going to be complete righteousness. We'll be incapable of going off. We'll have, those perfect bodies. The kingdom, is going to be full of righteousness, pleasure, everything in order, how the Lord intended things to be. All right. Verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, you see, going into, the Edomites, right? The top, the Edomites, the ruling class, the ruling elites of Edomites, and say, how have the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? See? So this hasn't taken place yet. All right, but soon to come. All right, and we believe it soon. Us hastening the day of the Lord. Seeing where we at in prophecy wise, and things speeding up. All right, we know that any day now, this place has to go down. All right, but that'll do with the lesson. Lord willing, that was edifying. So with that, I'd like to give all the praise going to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh by Hashem, Rakah Kodash.